Hello, welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. This is the Fox's Focus Show. We'll be discussing all things Leicester. And to join me today is Simon. Hello, Simon.
Good evening, Jono. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
All right, actually. Quite positive about the weekend.
I am. Mark says, good evening, elephant in the room. No Ndidi, who replaces him. We'll be discussing transfers in a bit. I think since we've just played our last game of pre-season, I think that's a good place to start. So, Simon, what are your thoughts on Leicester's 25-26 campaign pre-season? What's your overall thoughts?
Big improvement on last year, Jono. I thought we weren't ready. I don't think we were prepared right last year. Didn't look fit for the first 5 or 6 games of the season. Appalling results last year as well, in terms of I don't think we won a game in pre-season last year. I think for me, Andy King did a fantastic job just working on the fitness of the players when they came back from their holidays. And since then, Cifuentes has come in and really passionately drilled in his philosophy for this season and what he wants those players to do. And I doubt there's many in the camp that haven't got a clear understanding of how we're going to play this season, which to me looks exciting to watch. So, you know, I just wish we were in this place this time last year, Jono, frankly. What do you think?
I mean, if you'll rewind back to our pre-season with Steve Cooper, we played in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. We played a German team in like this field and we got absolutely minced. Did not look good. But I think this pre-season, I haven't think we've looked this prepared even before Enzo. I think we haven't looked this prepared since Brendan Rodgers. I think fitness-wise, sharpness-wise, tactics-wise, all look really, really sharp. And I was very impressed with how quickly the players adapted to the style. I know Ruud came in for a season, but the players have adapted to Cifuentes' tactics so quickly. And against Fiorentina, I was gobsmacked. I was so impressed with how we were playing, the pressing, the pressing, the tackling, the way we shifted the ball from one side of the field to the next. If one side was shut down, we switched the ball to the left or the right. It was a welcome sight. And I tell you what, Fataru, oh my, that goal should have been next rated adult site. Honestly, that was so. That was dirty. Honestly, I thought Mongo stole pre-season until that game. I thought Fataru was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine that Fataru had probably been laying on some physio's couch for a year, dreaming of doing that. He'd probably been imagining it in his mind for the last 12 months. So there's a hunger about Fataru this season. I think he feels he's got some catching up and a point to prove. And he was outstanding on Sunday. He was best player on the pitch by far. I thought Mongo was a little bit off colour when he came on, if I'm honest. He didn't quite live up to the kind of high expectations that the fans are already starting to get from him. But yeah, but the look of it, if we keep them both, then Fataru and Mavididi are going to cause some damage in the Championship this season.
Mavididi was also very good. I think that goal from Fataru stole the show. But Mavididi, I mean, their fullbacks, we had them on toast. They couldn't stop either one of them at all. And I think Monga, I don't want him to fall to the trap. I think he should try too hard. I don't want him to think he has to do this fancy step overs and flicks to get past people. I think sometimes we go back to basics a little bit. I don't want him to think he's the bee's knees and be full of himself and be fancy. But we all know his potential. But yeah, if we keep Mavididi young for, I mean, I saw a Sky Sports post that the club obviously wants to get rid of loads of players. And Fataru is on the radar of some Premier League clubs. But looking at Fataru in pre-season, he wants to play for Leicester. He's not showing any sign of him going anywhere. I think him and Monga and Mavididi have really impressed me in pre-season.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's too early for even if an offer came in, if I was Abdul Fattawi, I'd want to do this season with Leicester because he needs to get fully fit again, resilient, strong. He's still got a lot of learning to do. He's still a bit of a rough diamond in terms of, like you said, there's a few edges that need refining. I think Cifuentes is a good candidate to do that with him. I think he'll help him to kind of develop himself as a professional footballer. It all kind of adds up to being Abdul Fattawi's season, and ideally hope that he doesn't go, because I think he's quite pivotal to us this year.
Definitely. Well, last thoughts on pre-season. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. I don't think there could have been much more to improve on pre-season. I think very happy going into the championship next week. Well, this weekend.
Yeah. I'd agree with you. 8's a fair evaluation of it. There's a few bits still to be sorted out for me. It nags at me, Jono, that we've only got Ayew really as a credible goal threat. And whilst, don't get me wrong, he's put a few away in pre-season and he's done his job and he looks like he's got goals in him. He's also at an age where you'd think he'll probably pick up an injury or two over the course of the season. So we cannot go into the season with just him as the viable striker. It just doesn't, and again, Patson Daka's had his opportunity this pre-season and he hasn't lived up to the wage.
I mean, Andy said Daka still looks crap. I think every Leicester fan agrees that he's not the guy to carry us into the championship. And going into transfers, Dweck said West Ham fan here is Hermanson crap. Well, it's just been announced in the last hour that Hermanson has agreed to be a West Ham player of £18 million, I think, with an extra £2 million with add-ons. I think he is not a bad player. Hermanson in this day can be a phenomenal goalkeeper. I think beginning of our campaign last season, I thought he was unbelievable. He got as many points with Steve Cooper as without him, we've not got many points at all. I think we're below Southampton without Mads.
Yeah, I mean, Dwex is Hermanson crap. No, Dwex is not. He's probably one of the brightest young goalkeepers in the country for me. Gone under the radar a little bit, maybe at Leicester. We were leaking goals like a sieve last season, and the defence in front of him was a mess. Not necessarily because of the personnel, but because of the way they were being set up and the pressure that was put on them. He took a bit of a punishing on and off last season, but there was also games like the Arsenal game where he made something like 32 saves in one 90-minute game. He's great with his feet. He's a good distributor. He's reliable. He's a good shot stopper. I'm really upset, really, if I'm honest, that he's leaving. But I accept that we can afford to lose him, cover that with Stolarczyk and Bergovic, and get that money back in to spend it where we need to, which is clearly up front with a striker.
Well, we did some number crunching before we came on air. So far, this transfer window, we've sold Ndidi for 9 million, Hermanson for 18 million, and Cody for 2. That equates to 29 million in pure sales. Considering we bought Hermanson for 5, that's 13 million profit. In terms of wages, we've got rid of Ward, Vardy, Ndidi, Hermanson, and Cody. So that equates to £17 million a year in wages. We've
unbelievable.
So that is a lot of money the club is no longer paying out for these players. If we also sell a few more, or the club, and don't forget we've also got the parachute payments. We've got the parachute payments from the Premier League for getting relegated. I think if we could spend a good, not like go ridiculous like we did when we were in Europe, but get really good striker and a midfielder, and I think we'll be fine. We don't need a goalkeeper. We've got Begovic, we've got Stolarczyk. I think those two are really good for the whole season. Just get a solid striker, and we'll link. Who's that guy from Wickham we've been linked with?
Yeah, Richard Kone, Jono. Yeah, there's some talk about. I know Swansea have been trying to sign him, but that seems to have gone wrong for whatever reason. And I've had a look at the guy. He's got a similar pedigree to Vardy. He's come up through the non-league ranks. He's young. He scored 21 goals for Wickham in League One last season. He's clearly a talent. He's good with his feet. He's not just a one-dimensional striker. It looks like a good bet to me. I'm hoping that in quick succession with this Hermanson deal being done, that at least some of that money will get spent on on a striker quickly.
Well, we've got two strikers already. Do you think? I've seen reports that the club is fully known of our situation, and they've even publicly announced that we need to shift players out in order to get players in. We've seen movement already with Ward and Ndidi and Cody Hermanson already leaving the club. But do you think the club will try and get rid of a striker like Ayew or Daka first before trying to bring a new striker in?
I don't think they can, Jono. I mean, no one is going to pay Patson Daka 75 grand a week. The guy will sit there and run his last year of his contract down and take that money. He's not going to go, I'll tell you what, I'll go back to Austria and earn £20,000 a week. He's not going to do it. He's also a free agent next summer, which means he can then get a more significant signing on fee by doing a deal with his agent. We are stuck with him for the rest of his contract. And Jordan Ayew, for me, is the ideal backup to someone else coming in. You know, he's the great off the bench for the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, impact player to come on and give that bit of experience to manage games out. So we need a striker. Absolutely.
Well, Wax said I wouldn't pay £75 a week. I think you're £70 over there. I wouldn't pay £5 a week for Daka. He can play in five-a-side league.
I mean, he's a lovely bloke, isn't he, Jono? You know, he's a nice guy. Clearly means well. Tries. Got pace, genuine pace. You know, he's an absolute whippet. But
he works hard, but he can't shoot.
His finishing is appalling. It's everywhere but the goal. So where are you aiming?
Exactly.
I think it's a confidence thing for me.
Mark says it's all about selling the crown jewels, but if you don't have better replacements and build hungry wannabe players that will survive in the Prem, it's pointless, isn't it? Has been keeps for 1 year. I mean, look, we have to sell crown. Leicester's been famous for selling crown jewels for a long time. We're going back into Mahrez, we're going back to N'Golo Kante, we're selling crown jewels and reinvesting it. I think we're starting to see that now. Like we've signed a decent backup goalkeeper, but we've been linked with not old has-been players. We've been linked with quite young players who are not that expensive. And I do agree, yes, you don't sell everyone and don't replace them, but we've got a good backup goalkeeper. Indeed, he didn't feature much in pre-season anyway, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he featured too much in pre-season. So, and so far, the players that we've sold, we've kind of already got replacements anyway. We've sold Cody. Ben Nelson that's the replacement already. We don't need to go out and buy a centre back. We've got Okoli, Vestergaard, Ben Nelson. Who else is centre back?
And Faz, mate. Well,
Faz. But I saw comments saying he's been linked with Napoli, but I've not seen. I've just googled it. Nothing's been concrete yet. So we've got 4 defenders. So we get rid of players, but as of yet, positions that I don't think we need to go out right now and pursue it.
Yeah, I mean, ask yourself: all the players we've sold so far, have we weakened the team significantly in the process? No. Connor Cody's never really contributed anything significant to Leicester City. I can't think of any standout moment that Connor Cody's produced for the club. Okay, fine. He's a solid defender. He's an organiser. He's a shouter, but he's not pivotal. Wilfred Ndidi's not been the same player since Brendan Rodgers left.
No.
You know, he's looked a shadow of himself. I mean, he played in a bit more of a number 8 role under Maresca in that promotion season a couple of years ago, and he did a decent job. But last season, he was a ghost of the player that he was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not. Absolutely. I mean, I think it says something, Jono, that he's ended up having to go to Turkey. You know, if other Premier League sides were considering him as being a player with a contribution, with a small release clause in his contract of £9 million, one of them would have snapped him up, but they didn't. I think that says a lot about what the Premier League thinks of Wilfred Ndidi. Yes, Hermanson was our best keeper. Absolutely, yes. But Stolarczyk can do a job, and he is also a very capable keeper. So I don't think any of the signings have caused us much of a bother.
No. I mean, if you said to me what players would you not mind leaving that have been decent, Hermanson is one of them. Yes, he's a really good goalkeeper. Yes, he'll be really good for West Ham, and maybe he's good enough to go even to a top six club after the stay at West Ham. But right now, we need the money, and we've got a very, very good backup goal. Yes, he's maybe not as good as Hermanson, but he's way good enough for us not to go out and buy a new goalkeeper. Can't we pay Daka off term his contract? It'll cost us a fortune. It'll be like a big signing if we get rid of Daka. So we just got to kind of smile and wave.
Well, we need some depth, don't we, Jono? You know, ultimately, you know, if we get another striker in, he ain't going to be starting. But his depth, his cup games, and his depth in just in case something happens.
Vesterpoo, Fast, Cordova, Reed, Ayew, players like this is what we don't need. No future, no revenue. I agree, but we've seen the club already shift some deadwood. We've seen it already. So I believe that we can shift more. You know, people reported that the club are still reporting to sell more players. We're not finished yet, so we need to just keep doing it.
But you have to be careful, though, John, don't you? Because okay, fine, if Wout Faz gets sold to Italy's club in Italy tomorrow, I don't think any of us are going to be crying into a dinner that night. He hasn't, you know, he's done some good things. He's also made some absolutely calamitous mistakes, including them 2 own goals at Anfield a couple of years ago. Let's not go there. But you know, the one for me that really would kind of put a bit of a dagger in it is El Canoes. I really do think he is an up and coming talent, and if we can keep hold of him and get promoted, he's gonna really do some frightening stuff in the Premier League. I'd be upset if we sold him, if I'm honest.
Yeah, there's only 3 players that I would be really, really gutted if we sold, and that's Mavididi, Fataru, and El Canoes. I think if we saw any of those 3 players, either we get at least 30-40 million for them, or don't sell them, because that'll be a massive gut punch of a sell if we sell. And before we move on for the transfers, better signings are needed. Are we leaving it far too late? I mean, we done it any earlier. The club said we needed to sell players before we bought. We've sold players now, so what I'm expecting to see now is over the weekend is us being linked with a striker. Definitely.
Well, you would think if the target's lined up, they're just waiting for the money to come in. We all know we can't buy unless we sell. It's been a bit of a slow window. You know, there's all sorts of reasons in that. World Club Cup, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's taken a while to get going. Now it has got going. We would hope they've done their homework, identified their targets, and as soon as the money hits the bank account, they're going straight out and going for the target players.
Well, all I've seen is players being linked to leave, like El Canoes. You know, he's been heavily linked with Spurs ever since Maddison got injured. El Canoes has been heavily linked with Spurs. But I'm expecting to see some transfers to come in, because as much as I said we've got backup in the players that we've sold, we've not got backup in the position we need, which is striker. So the championship season for Leicester starts on Sunday. It kicks off tomorrow, actually. Championship kicks off tomorrow. I don't know who plays tomorrow.
You're testing me now, John. I did know, and I've forgotten.
It's Birmingham Ipswich, 8 p.m. kickoff. That's the first game. That's a spicy one, isn't it?
Well, you can tell what they've picked out. It's the glamour, one of the 2 glamour teams that's just got promoted against the team that's just gone down. So it'll be a bit of a kind of litmus test in terms of how competitive Birmingham are going to be, you would think.
Yes. But our campaign kicks off against Sheffield Wednesday. Now, we all moan to death at how we are ran badly, how the club has lost touch to the fans, how we've got a points deduction coming, but we have nothing compared to Wednesday fans. They are in a right old state. You know, one of their stands can't be used. They've got 15 players on the books. They will only play because they're forced to legally. If they don't play, they don't get paid at all. It's just an absolute mess over there, and is in a way this is a dream start for Leicester, but in a really, really bad way.
Yeah, it's a banana skin, isn't it? It's one of those where the media will be looking at it thinking, well, Leicester are just going to roll Sheffield Wednesday over and give them a good thrashing. You've got to be careful if you're Leicester City that you don't get drawn into that this is a gimme type attitude, because if you do, you'll probably get caught out. I'd imagine they've sold out their allocation. There'll be 3,000 of them in the corner on Sunday afternoon in terms of Sheffield Wednesday fans, and they will have a point to prove. Both the fans and the players, they want to stick one up the owner, and they'll have a real kind of motive for that. So we absolutely cannot be complacent about this game on Sunday, or else we will end up getting caught out, and we'll be a laughing stock on Monday morning. So we've got to be careful to make sure we get the job done. And I'm sure, having seen what I've seen of Cifuentes so far, he'll make sure the players are focused for that.
Well, George said if we played like we did on Sunday, we should win 5-0. I mean, going back to earlier, we were talking about how we played against Fiorentina. Then we played. I think we've not played that well in a long time in my eyes. Not since we didn't play that at all during the Premier League season. If we played like that at all against Sheffield Wednesday, I think we'll win. We'll win quite comfortably. Not saying we'll win like 6-0, but with a team that's, Cifuentes has come in and he's basically drilled into them that we need to win every game that we go. We need to try and win every game we go into. We shouldn't go easy on a team. I know they're going through hell right now, but you shouldn't go easy on a team that's struggling. Be focused, be composed, and I think we could do it. But I forgot what the saying is, but and I'm always most dangerous when backed into a corner.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I think they've. No one's expecting anything of them at all, other than to get beat. So almost like the pressure's off them. They haven't got to worry. There's 15 of them. They've not got a manager. The owner has got money but won't spend it anymore because his family's told him off for wasting money on Sheffield Wednesday. The whole thing is a mess. And like you said earlier, we think we've had problems, and we have had problems. Let's be honest. We've mismanaged our spending, and we've caught a cold. It's nowhere near as bad as the situation there, and you just hope for their sake, as a fellow football fan, that someone comes in and buys that club and gives it some stability, because that's a historic, and very big football club, and it absolutely doesn't deserve to be treated the way it is now.
No, and we've had the best 10 years, arguably, any lower. Outside the top 6 club could ever dream of. We've experienced the best of football. We've won the best trophies. We've been under the lights of, against the best teams in Europe and the Champions League. We've seen how good it can be, but we can also see how quickly it can be taken away from you. Those fans never would have dreamed, a team like Sheffield Wednesday with a very, very, very famous stadium, there would have ever been a situation like this. We were all thinking, we should be in the Premier League. We're too big for the Premier League. Well, it can be taken away from you. So I do hope that someone does buy them out and gets But anyway, we want to see Leicester win. So what sort of team would you like to see Cifuentes starting, ignoring Hermansen and Ndidi are out. So, as it stands right now, what would your first 11 be going into Sunday?
I put Stolarczyk in goal in Hermansen's departure. I'd go Luke Thomas left-hand side. I'd play Hamza Chowdhury on the right-hand side, because obviously Justin and Ricardo are both injured, to my understanding, unless one of them comes back before the weekend. I also believe that Hamza Chowdhury might well be the captain of the club now, from what I understand as well. So.
It's been captain most of pre-season, hasn't he? So
that might lend maybe to a little bit of a message that Cifuentes fancies him. In the middle, I would play Coley and Nelson. I wouldn't play Vestergaard like he did on Sunday. I think Nelson's the better one of the two for me. The middle of the park, you're looking at Samare and Skip or Winks. I don't like the look of Winks at the minute, Jono. He looks like a man who don't fancy it. It's like he's in his last year of his contract, as well, and doesn't look very committed.
I said this. We played against Leuven, I said that Winks did not look sharp, and people instantly said, "Oh, you're talking nonsense," but I'm not. He does not look like the player he did under Enzo at all.
It's like he's been in the Maresca sulk ever since he left. I don't really get it. It's like his football world fell apart when Enzo Maresca left the club. I mean, the Cifuentes way is not, whilst it's more aggressive and attacking, it's not hugely unrecognisable from Maresca. So I don't know what his problem is, other than he doesn't seem to want to be there. So based on that, let's go with Skip, because he is trying. Left hand side Mavididi, right hand side obviously Fatawu, and then we have no option but to play Jordan Ayew up front with El Khanous behind him.
I think I'll go the exact same lineup. I think you can't go any different, really. I mean, it will be in a spot of bother if El Khanous just leave by Sunday. It'd be very unlikely now we'll sell a player like that before our first game weekend. But I think that team, as someone who's put it, George put like a pub team. It does sound like a Sunday League team who turns up and says, "Oh, we borrow one of your players because one of ours dropped out." It does sound like one of them, doesn't it? Unfortunately, but again, we've got that quality on that pitch I would even argue that can give a Premier League team in the lower half of the table a good game. That this team should easily beat Sheffield Wednesday if Cifuentes had been playing like we did against Fiorentina.
And I'm absolutely confident that will be the case. I don't think Cifuentes will blink at all. I think he'll treat this as if they were at full strength with a manager and all of the prep and all the rest of it. I do not think he'll let this slip, and I don't think he'll let the players do that either.
No, and it's about the mindset, and the mindset's been pretty set when he first came in. This is where I'm playing. This is what I expect out of you. If you don't perform like this, you're not in. And if the players piss around, think, "Oh, this is going to be a walk in the park," and take the mickey, take their time, make mistakes, we'll get punished. As you said, they're a giant team that's going through an awful time. If they see an opportunity to take the piss out of us, and they will.
Yeah, it's personal pride for those players as well. Don't forget that whilst they haven't been paid lately, there will be a professional pride in them to give a good account of themselves. If for no other reason, then they're all thinking maybe they're off somewhere else fairly soon and they want to put themselves in the shop window. So there'll be personal motivation, even if there isn't the kind of coherent, structure of it.
Dorcas made it actually a really good comment. This actually hasn't come to my mind. We don't want 3 African strikers when AFCON is coming up. So Ayew will be gone. Daka will be gone. I don't know why you want Daka playing for your country anyway, but
well, he scores for them, doesn't he? When he plays for them, he scores for them.
But that's a good point actually. That didn't actually come to mind. But
where's Richard Kone from? Do we know?
Well, that's the thing. Is he from Africa?
Let's have a look. Yeah, Ivory Coast. He's not played for him yet.
No, well, hopefully he will attempt not to leave. Didn't Fatawu did that, didn't we? When we first signed Fatawu, he didn't go to AFCON to play for Leicester.
For Ghana, yeah, but he weren't going to get in the team. I think he established that he was only going to be a squad player. So based on that, he decided to stay put. And of course, it was with Ghana that he got the cruciate knee ligament injury that put him out all last season as well.
And Derek says, talk for Prem teams going for Fatawu. Every big club's going for any player that's got relegated from the Championship. But from what I've seen from Fatawu this pre-season, he looks passionate for Leicester. He wants to prove himself, and I think he will stay I think he will stay.
I think it's in his best interest to stay. I think he's still got development to do, and this season in the Championship is a great chance for him to develop himself and get himself robust. Again, it makes sense to me for him on a footballing basis. You would hope the club will do what they can do to keep him, because that's pivotal for me. So important.
It is. Before we end, what do you think the score is going to be against Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday? What do you think the score will be?
I'm not going to disrespect him with 5-0. I don't think it will be that bad. As a couple of the people watching tonight have said, I think there'll probably be better opposition than Fiorentina were on Sunday. I mean, whilst that was a great result for 60 minutes, that was Fiorentina's reserves. It wasn't their first team. They didn't put on their first team until the hour mark when he put them on lock, stock and barrel. And they're obviously, Fiorentina are also quite a way behind us in pre-season. They've still got a way to go because their league doesn't start for a little while. So it's going to be a sterner challenge, I think, even with the situation. I'd take a nice, solid 2-0 win, and I think that's likely for me.
Yeah, Gary said 2-0 as well. Look, with all the news around Sheffield Wednesday, yes, it's not a good, stable club, but it's going to be tough. I'm not going into this thinking it's going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a cagey game. Start of the season, first game back in the Championship. The Championship is one of the hardest leagues there is in any country. So I reckon we will concede, but I think it'll be 3-1. I think we'll score. I think we'll get to a rhythm, score a few goals. They'll get one, then we'll finish it off. I think 3-1. I think we'll finish 3-1. But well, thank everyone for watching. Simon, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials. We've got a show on Sunday morning. We'll be doing an extra preview for the Sheffield Wednesday game. But until then, thank you for watching, and we shall see you soon.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow us on all socials.